Imagine being undermined and humiliated by the very people who are supposed to support you. Now imagine turning the table so completely that one loses their biggest project and the other's career teeters on the edge. That's exactly what happened to me. If you've ever had a toxic boss or coworker and dreamed of seeing karma in action, hit that like button and subscribe. Today's story is about patience, proof, and the most satisfying corporate revenge I've ever served. When I joined a large European tech company 3 years ago, I wasn't in management, but my credentials could have let me lead hundreds. I'm an expert in my field. Unfortunately, that didn't stop two colleagues from making my life miserable. Let's call the first one Greg. He was supposed to be my mentor. Instead, he mocked me in meetings, raised his voice at me in front of others, and whispered rumors when my back was turned. I stayed calm because I needed his knowledge at first, but privately I began a meticulous diary of every insult, every outburst, every date and time. My mental health took a beating, but my patience was building a paper trail. 6 months later, I joined our company's largest project. Thousands of people, multi-million euro stakes, and I was the only person in my specialized role. The project lead on our side was Julia. We'd only emailed once before, but as soon as we worked together, she started undermining me, calling extra meetings to question my decisions, cutting me off mid-sentence, and publicly assigning me work outside my role. So it would look like I was delaying the project. Colleagues noticed but were afraid of her. At one point, management even appointed someone to monitor my schedule because of all the false delays Julia was blaming on me. I quietly started speaking to influential people, expressing concern about someone taking wrong decisions. They began double-checking Julia's claims. Then Greg joined the project while I was on holiday. My first day back, in an early meeting, he humiliated me again, this time so badly I snapped and warned him to stop. We were in different cities. Otherwise, it could have ended very badly. That night, instead of doing something rash, I opened my diary. I wrote a long, detailed email to HR, my team lead, Greg's and Julia's managers, and our department head. It contained every incident, dates, times, witnesses, and highlighted how dangerous their behavior was for the company's reputation and compliance. In Greg's case, I said, based on his own words and actions, I had strong reasons to believe he'd done something that could expose the company legally. For Julia, I listed every manipulation, every unfair assignment. HR took my side but wouldn't grant my one request, that Greg and Julia publicly admit their behavior and apologize. I had hoped that if Greg was forced to apologize, he would explode in front of everyone and lose his job. But HR did have to investigate. They checked my story with other colleagues and confirmed it was true. They offered to move me off the project. I refused. I asked them to move Greg and Julia instead. They refused again. So I went further. I contacted the company's legal office. At that moment, by sheer luck, a scandal broke elsewhere in the company involving similar misconduct. I used that timing to stress how dangerous it would be to ignore Greg. 2 weeks later, legal gave me their findings. Greg wasn't guilty of what I suspected against me, but they uncovered clear evidence of him breaking rules multiple times elsewhere. He probably won't be fired. The company itself enables some of his behavior, but his untouchable status is gone and there will be consequences. As for Julia, that same week she suddenly announced she could no longer work on the project for personal reasons. We all know what really happened. She's off the most important project of her career. Colleagues even joke, "What did you say to get her moved?" It took patience, meticulous record-keeping, and the courage to escalate. But in the end, I got my revenge, and my workplace is far less toxic. Sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't loud. It's quiet, documented, and timed just right. In corporate life, patience really can be a weapon. If this story gave you hope or chills, hit the like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying workplace revenge you've ever witnessed? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.